We are back at Phelps Field in Spokane, Washington, in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. This is Quentin J. Parker, your pilot, and we're going to take what I hope to be is a scenic flight down to Portland, Oregon, in V-Flight Air's Piper Arrow 3. This puppy's getting a lot of sim time lately. I like it. I'm going to run it with the dual G5s and the GTN 750 Touch. Straight line distance is about 250 something miles. I expect we'll be in the air for 3 hours. And that's one of the reasons I didn't intend to post the video of this flight. I thought it would be, pretty involved to edit down to something digestible. So what I did was I posted the screenshots of the flight instead to various online venues. And the response was surprisingly positive. And I figured they might want to see the same visuals in motion. Yep, there's that ATIS format error, that's back. It showed itself a lot in X-Plane 11, and it was fixed for a time here in X-Plane 12, but here it is again. The dew point is out of whack, and cloud order is out of sequence. So. It's really such a pristine day, I don't even need to copy down the ATIS. Normally I'd plug in the headset to reduce the engine noise, but I must have been in a mood because right here, I don't really mind it. I will confirm where the Alpha taxiway is because the ramp feeds directly into Alpha taxiway. And it's real easy to accidentally move into the runway area if you're not paying attention. With me, as always, in the Piper Arrow is the lovely Heike. I went with the name because that ponytail is very Prussian. Very Prussian. And very few names I've found really speak to that Germanic Dutch heritage the way the name Heike does. So, here she is. Oh God. What if her last name is Gutenschmeiss? Okay, I swear, that's the last time. I read the name and I get a vision of a Weasley Nazi henchman. That's why I do that. No disrespect to Gutenschmeiss to Simmer. We're cleared direct through the Charlie to Spokane's VOR, following Victor 448 through the Moses Lake, Yakima, and Battleground VORs. When we reach Battleground, it's 10 nautical miles due south to Portland. We're going to climb up to 14,000 to overfly Mount Adams, which has an elevation of 12,000 and change. Once we clear Mount Adams, begin a gradual descent to around 2,500 to enter Charlie airspace in Portland. The lighting is like a very pleasant version of Hollywood's idea of wherever brown people live. Really, this video is nothing but a showcase for Visual XP's Ozone Color 1 selection. if Felt Field is not running both runways, should probably do right traffic to avoid overflying the lovely homes of Beacon Hill. Or another way to be a good neighbor is for me to extend my departure leg before turning crosswind, and that way, by the time I overfly the homes, I'll be at a higher altitude. But I'm not going to do either of those. I'm going to fly right over the houses. Our flaps up. And we are wheels up. It's mid-January, and at the time of filming, my real-world flight school has a Piper Arrow, and I'm considering checking out in it, but I'm told they're going to get rid of it. I'll let you know what happens. See, this is what I was talking about. Right over the houses. And I can only imagine what it sounds like inside. I keep thinking what a horrible place to have an engine failure. Oh well. Let me get that for you, hon. Get the sun out your eyes. Instruments are good. So you got two Charlie airports sitting right on top of each other. Spokane International, which we just passed. And Fairchild Air Force Base. Home of some pretty good airshows. Okay, we are in a gradual climb to 14,000. We're going to fly past Mount Adams, which rises up to 12,000. Look at what's going on weather-wise over the prairie. operational ceiling of the Piper Arrow is just over 16,000, and I believe it because we are fighting to get the 14,000. But we are here. It's super bright outside, but it looks kind of dark from the cockpit. I don't know if that's just the lighting or hypoxia. We'll give it a couple of minutes, and if my fingers don't start tingling, we'll stay at this altitude. I am exhausted already, so Hack is going to enable the autopilot, and we're going to follow the VORs in. I'm rocking Orbix True Earth US Washington HD, and all this scenery is accurate to the real world. I have True Earth US Oregon, but for whatever reason I can't answer, it's not installed. The ground was wet at Feltz Field, but I didn't see any rain in the area, and I think we are flying through some high-level rain now. But just as quickly as it came, we're through it. This is our second waypoint, Moses Lake VOR, and there is Moses Lake itself. Pike is punching in the frequencies. I am tuning the bearings. There's Potholes Reservoir. And the Columbia River, which we will see again a little later. Hang on for a second. Switch tanks. Fuel pump off. And let's see. Engine instruments are good. Alright, cool. Yeah. Pretty sure the darkness is a byproduct of Visual XP's ozone coloring. Not going to worry about it. Oof. reflection is killing any sightseeing on the passenger side, honey. Sorry. It's always bothered me that farmland isn't mapped as a VFR checkpoint. I mean, it's impossible to miss. Oh look, the clouds are doing their thing again. I think that's the first time I've seen a pure vertical cloud development in X-Plane. Nice. I want to say that I am grateful for every single view and comment I get on my videos. I think that's a given, I think that's obvious, but let me explain why. Last month, Navgraphic put out their Flight Sim Community Survey final report, and it confirmed how very niche my flying is. I mean, it's a general aviation channel, not airline, and it's on an X-Plane platform, not Microsoft Flight Simulator. I don't live stream. I haven't interacted with live ATC in ages. So yeah, this is not where a lot of eyes are. But this is the flying that I do. You know, maybe I fly the way you fly, and you want to see more of it. Maybe you're curious about an avionics package that I have that you don't, like this nifty GTN 750, which I absolutely adore. You know, and you want to see it in action. Or, as was the case recently, you're curious about how certain graphical plugins look under certain circumstances or how they perform under a given set of hardware. Maybe you live in the areas where I fly. I perform a lot of flight operations in and around the places I've lived. Might I fly heavy steel at some point in the future? Who knows? Anything's possible. But for now, this is the flying that I do, this is the flying that interests me, this is the flying that I enjoy. And I put these out really for fun. I mean, that's why I don't ask people to subscribe. You subscribe because you see it, you vibe with it, and you might want to see more of it. If it entertains you the way it entertains me, if you get something out of it, if it intrigues you, that is all I ask. That is all I want. And that's why I am grateful for every view I get. There it is. Mount Adams. Not to be confused with that one, Mount Rainier, which rises just about 15,000 feet. We would be overflying it if we were flying from Spokane to Seattle. Speaking of Microsoft Flight Simulator, this flight was initially started in Microsoft Flight Simulator. But basically what had happened was, rather than film solely from the cockpit, which is really the only way I can tolerate Flight Sim, I tried to use its camera system, and it did not go well. I have a game controller, but for whatever reason, I was using the keyboard. And I was in an exterior camera view, not paused, but on autopilot. And I was trying to rotate the view, but I'm not sure if I was using the keypad or the arrow keys. But in one view, these keys allow you to rotate the camera. But in another camera view, they allow control surface inputs. So I'm in an exterior view, thinking I'm rotating, thinking I'm panning around, and the plane enters an extreme unusual attitude. And, you know, I tried to get it back quickly, but imposed a little too much strain on the airframe and broke apart in flight. So, yeah, Microsoft 2020's new camera system, pissing me off since it came out 3 years ago. This does not encourage me to buy Flight Sim 2024. We'll see if they do anything differently. I applied Sim Update 14 and got the working title SR22. That is a separate video, and that's all I'll say about that. After Rainier, Mount Adams is the second highest mountain in the state. It's got 12 glaciers clockwise from the north, named Lava, Lyman, Wilson, Rusk, Klickitat, one of its indigenous names, Pato's another, Mazama, Gotchin, Crescent, Avalanche, which is just plain unfortunate, White Salmon, Pinnacle, and Adams. Legend has it that Mount Adams is one of the 3 Smoky Mountains that guard the Columbia River. Fun fact, it's an inactive volcano, but definitely not extinct. All right, we are clear of Mount Adams. We're going to begin a gradual descent to the Battleground VOR. Okay, Portland's not too bad. They've got some rain. Should be an easy arrival. You may notice a marked difference in the terrain quality. Alright, there she is. Portland International. There's the Columbia River again, marking the border between Washington State and Oregon. I'm not going to bore you with the approach and landing. Just know that I set up for a very short downwind, long base, turn final. Here we are. While waiting for the Honeycomb Charlie pedals, my curiosity got the better of me, and I bought the replacement springs I mentioned for the Thrustmaster pedals. They are noticeably tighter than the original spring, but I need more time with them before I render a verdict. This simulated plane in particular prepared me for flying with a G5 in the real world. It's raining here, yeah. Runway is wet. Touchdown was okay, but I was way off center line. We can squabble about whether it was a good or a bad landing, but I'm gonna get the hell off the runway and pray to whatever God will hear me that nobody saw that. We're gonna have a little ground service, a little V-Flight Air pushback. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. That's how you do it. That off-center landing when the wind was not a problem, that was not cool. But here we are. Back in Portland, loving life. And there you have it. Okay, safe and sound on the ground. This is the imagery I'm getting with Visual XP and Ozone Color 1 selected. You can see that there are places where it really shines and circumstances where it doesn't shine at all. It's kind of dark. But one thing you can't say is that it's not dramatic. And I am all about dramatic imagery. I want to thank you guys, let you know how grateful I am for your attention to these little ego projects of mine. I don't care what Navigraphics says. One view for me feels like 10,000. This has been Quentin J. Parker, your pilot, and I will catch up with you legendary simmers in the next video. Till then, stay out of trouble, be well. I'm out. Bye.